So in 2006.
What happened in 2006, Matt?
Absolutely nothing.
The market
the market went down.
Yes, it went
So
bad.
we had our house. I was generally in our house, and it was pretty much almost done. And we hadn't sold our house in Madison at that point.
And we just had a baby.
Just had a baby. Just Carson was our number 2.
Mm-hmm.
And we got an offer. And Jen, you want to talk about the offer we got?
So back then, the market was totally different. So it was a buyer's market. A lot of the agents that are in the market right now probably have no idea how to work a buyer's market. But in this market, what the buyer did was they made their offer on our property. They also made an offer on another property. And they said, whoever's willing to give us the best deal, that's who we're going to go with. So it was basically like a reverse subject to sale kind of clause. So we had to come up with our best terms, and then they eventually did opt to go with us. But in this transaction, we were acting as our own agents, or I was acting as the agent, and Matt was acting as the seller who thought his house was worth way more than it was.
It was.
So I had to convince him that for the market climate that we were in, we needed to come back with our best offer for these folks. And they ultimately decided to go forward with our house.
We're horrible sellers.
What?
He's a horrible seller. I'm fine.
What was the market climate at the time?
Well, the market crashed, so you had a lot of...
What year, so what year was this?
2006.
Previously,
Okay.
we talked about absorption rates at low 2s or under 2 or under 1. And at that point, you're talking a balanced market at 6. So this is probably like 7 or 8, 6, 7 or 8.
Oh, it was
Probably 8.
Yeah, I mean 8 or 9. I mean, there was
A lot of inventory.
tons of inventory and no buyers to be found anywhere at all.
So how do you adjust your price based on that?
It's funny, in that time when the market crashed, it wasn't like something you saw eventually evolving. It was like overnight.
Mm-hmm.
It was like the next day you're just like nothing. Nobody's buying. I don't remember what interest rates were. I don't think they were too outrageous, but
And we were actually on vacation, and I was like, wow, this is the best vacation. No one is calling us. Yeah.
and then we came back and found out why.
And then we got back and we were like, oh, this is not fantastic.
Yeah, and that's when you had a lot of the properties being foreclosed on and short sales.
But when it came to pricing, we had to make sellers understand. So we really did use those absorption rates a lot, where it would be like, okay, here's your neighborhood and here's where you stack up. And if we price here, you're going to be on the market forever. Is that what you want? Is that okay?
It's a tough discussion to have. Like right now for the sellers, it's a fun conversation because they're profiting.
Winning.
Their properties have gone up. In that time of the market, those were not fun conversations or appointments, because you have to say, okay, if you have to sell, here's where you're at. And then sellers are like, okay, I might break even, maybe.
Yeah, a lot of people weren't breaking even, which was tricky.
When you are in a market like that, do you see more people that might be initially thinking about moving, but then once they realize that they might sit on the market for really long, or they're gonna get just market value or not over or something, do they decide to wait and see what happens, or is it typically people will still just run with it and you just do what you can in that kind of market?
I would say a lot of people did wait, but that being said, we just changed what markets we were using. So we did the short sales, we did the foreclosures, because you did have a large percentage of the market that was short selling, a couple foreclosures here and there, but for people that had to sell, they were not making what they could have in a seller's market.
Yeah, a lot of the sellers were only selling because they had to.